Hello. Hi, Noni. And anyone else who might be watching and lurking. Welcome. Hi, Kitty. Hello, hello. I'm Calico Pascal, Sea Otter VTuber, streaming to you live from the Float Harbor Aquarium. It's good to see you. You have news? What news? What news do you bring to Kitty? This is a just chatting stream for today, so I want to hear all the latest deets. What you got up your sleeve? Fostering kittens? Oh my gosh. Babies. How cute. How many? And what color pattern? I must know. Fostering is fun. I used to foster puppies. This was a long time ago. Also, what kind of kittens? I decided to bring out the microphone. We're not doing karaoke, but figured it would be kind of nice to show it off a little bit. You and Mama Kitty found 2 tortoiseshell kittens by some bushes in the neighborhood. Aww. Okay, so it's not like through a shelter or anything. You just happened to find some. Yeah. Well, because I mean, I only did the one karaoke stream, and I was like, I spent too much time on this to not use it a little bit more. Plus, I'll be going over some of the photos that I can share from my trip. Actually, speaking of which, let me make sure. Okay, yeah. Things are in order here. Yep. This one is a runt. It's a litter of 2, so we assume the mama was malnourished or they were dumped. Oh. Well, I hope the mama's okay. But glad you guys found the babies. You taking care of them. Was this pretty recent? Or when did you find those babies? Also, for those of you who joined last week, As you can probably tell, I sound a lot better. I've gotten over like probably 99% of whatever sickness I had. Thank goodness. It's a learning curve. They are very needy. Found them last Friday. Okay, so it hasn't been very long. I see. But yeah, on that topic of like me being sick, so yeah, I came back from my trip and then I was sick, so I was taking it easy for some time. And then yeah, I haven't worked out since prior to my vacation, so I'm itching to get back into it. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have time. I really need to. I also really need to go grocery shopping. Fridge is looking a little barren. I'm like doing the struggle meal, putting stuff together. Leftovers, whatever I can find. They're starting to play, and Emmy Kitty isn't hissing at them anymore and is also playing with them. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, they're just babies. Emmy Kitty. Otter gotta eat, I know. It's so hard. Like right now, this past week, I've just been like scrounging around the fridge, like, please, I need protein. I need to keep up these muscles. It's okay, soon. If not, tomorrow, whenever I have time, when I get time off, I will go. Yeah, I know, it's like, you know, when it comes to protein, it's ideally you should be getting most of it from just like whatever you're eating, a meal, and not from just like the supplements. Not that there's anything wrong with supplements, and if it helps you hit your macros, then that's fine. But you know, I would rather not just like have like 50% of my meal be powder. You know. So I was like at the gym today, and I grabbed like a protein bar. And I guess I must have had this protein bar before, but just didn't remember. Because I bought it, and then I took my first bite, and I was like, I remember this. And it wasn't very good. There are a lot of... Some protein snacks taste a lot better than others, and this was just one of those ones where it just like, it doesn't hit. It looks tempting, it looks like it'll be good, and then it's not. Have you guys ever heard of like the thing about Hershey's chocolate? Like specifically the milk chocolate. So for some people, I guess depending on when they were introduced to it or like their personal experience as like growing up. So you either like the taste of Hershey's milk chocolate or you think it tastes like vomit. Like it has this weird like, I don't know how to describe the flavor. It's like this weird aftertaste. Just kind of not good. Almost like not acid or like bitter. It's just like, it doesn't taste very good. And so I'm one of those people who doesn't like Hershey's milk chocolate. And guess what this protein bar tasted like? Kelly has no food money. Dry scoops the sand from her wallet. I know. What camp are you in? Yeah, I am in the I do not like Hershey's milk chocolate. I'm when it comes to chocolate, I prefer dark chocolate. I like it bitter. Both for me, it's an American chocolate thing, I think. Yeah, I think that is also, yeah, because specifically, like, I've had milk chocolate from Europe, and that tastes fine. But specifically Hershey's is, I don't know, it's no good. I don't like it. And so this, like, I would say the protein bar I had, it was a, for anyone curious, if you ever decide to try this out for yourself, it's a brand called MRE, and the flavor specifically was chocolate chip cookie dough. And it sounds very appealing, right? But then it just, I think texturally it was better than most protein bars I've had, because I like the little, they put like these little Rice Krispie bits on it, so it's got some crunch. And then the inside is like the chocolate, what's supposed to be like the chocolate chip dough. There's no chocolate chips inside the dough. A little disappointed. It was just the dough. I think adding like little mini chocolate chips or something would add more of that texture in it. But they didn't have any. And it's called chocolate chip cookie dough. Where are the chocolate chips? It's just cookie dough. Anyways, I mean, I still downed it because I was like, I need this. I spent like what, $4 on this protein bar, 3 something USD, and it's 20 grams of protein. I'm not letting it go. Sue them. I know, give me back my money. You're having the same experience as me with protein shakes. Strawberry of the brand I got is bad. The caramel is overwhelming. Yeah, protein supplements are also really hard. Or like protein powders specifically. Some of them are good and some of them are just kind of like not very good. I've had... It's interesting, I've had some like more unique flavored protein powders in the past, but they're so expensive. Like, yeah, they taste good, but the amount of servings you get for it is just like not worth it in comparison to some other brands. So now these days I just go with like the plain like vanilla, just because for one, that's the only one that Costco sells, and then, well, at least of this particular brand that I like. And then two is that with a plain flavor, you can just add whatever other flavors you want into the mix yourself, and then it tastes so much better. You have them because your focus meds kill your appetite, and I don't eat much at all. Then I get hunger pangs. Yeah, protein powder supplements are also good for helping with that. Yes, Costco supremacy! I actually learned something really exciting. I found out that a Costco is gonna open up like up the street from the Float Harbor Aquarium. Isn't that cool? I was like, oh my god, I won't have to drive. Like, I think currently the closest one to me is like 15 minutes away. 15 minutes or so. Yeah, so if they open the one up the street, I'll just be able to go like whenever. Oh my god, it'll be amazing. It brings a tear to my eye. Pain flavor? Oh man. I can imagine that existing. You know, it doesn't exist, so, you know, don't get your hopes up. But if I were ever approached to make like a energy drink, protein drink from a company, like right now there's a lot of energy drink companies who are doing collabs with VTubers for whatever reason. If I had my own flavor, I don't know. I think if it was specifically branded to me, I'd want something like fruity. Oh, dang, that actually reminds me. I was supposed to try... Someone recommended to me, there was a pina colada protein shake. And I wanted to try it. I was so curious. Because I love pina colada. Like, I like pineapple and coconut. I wonder if it's any good. You're imagining a line of penguins, each with a pizza in their beak. Yeah, everybody. Float Harbor Aquarium field trip to Costco. Calico's gonna get the one. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, damn. I got nothing in the fridge. What can I do? Wallet's a little tight. Oh, you know what? Costco got me. $1.50 hot dog. Costco would never betray me. You pay a guy to punch you after every sip. Oh no. Well, I was having some difficulty because I feel like typically a lot of protein powders are made with whey protein, but I have a friend who was asking me for a while and several times, like, they can't do that. Like, it just upsets their stomach for some reason. And so, like, the only recommendation I have for them is like a pea protein or some kind of vegetable protein powder, but it doesn't provide enough, or at least the ones that they've been looking into, they don't have enough protein as much as the whey ones. So it's like, oh, then what do you do? No, you have no choice. You just gotta... Anyways, well, we're like 20 minutes in and there's more people here, so I guess I can start talking about my trip. I can't go super into detail and I don't have like too much things that I can show. I did film some footage to hopefully one day, I know I have like a huge backlog, and I keep saying this every time, of footage from my trips to put together for like another see the world vlog. I just haven't had the time to sit down and edit and put stuff together. But yeah, as you can maybe tell from the title of this stream, it's called PNW Party, because if you don't know, PNW is short for Pacific Northwest. I did like a trip along the Pacific Northwest of the Americas. And I guess technically a little bit of Canada. A teeny tiny bit. I was in Canada for just the tiniest moment. But actually, that Canada trip, again, very, very brief, but let's see. I have been to Canada before. I've been to Vancouver, which is also, again, on the West Coast, but that was years ago. And that first time that I was there, I didn't do any of the typical touristy things. Like, I didn't try poutine, I didn't go to Tim Hortons, so I kind of regretted that for a while. And so this time around, I was like, okay, I have to go to Tim Hortons, and I have to get poutine. Poutine, by the way, I got it from PNW, which I don't think at least maybe not around here, we used to have. Apparently they used to be more common, PNW chains, but I don't know if maybe they're just restricted to certain states, because we don't have them here anymore. But anyways, they've got PNW out in Canada, and at their PNWs they sell poutine. And if you don't know what poutine is, it's this dish where it's like French fries with gravy, like a savory gravy sauce, and cheese curds, like melted cheese curds. Pretty dang good. Not gonna lie. I think I had official Canadian VTuber Twidio give me the vouch or the rundown, and I agree with him. He said typically a good poutine is based off of like the gravy, and this gravy specifically that I had was not too runny and not too thick. Had a good consistency to it, was very flavorful, and then the fries were kind of just like, eh. I mean, when it's like, you know, when you're eating French fries just alone, they gotta be crispy, right? Gotta have the crunch, and then they gotta be kind of maybe sort of fluffy on the inside. Yeah, up to your personal preference. But when it comes to like wet fries or like fries in some kind of sauce, I don't really expect them to be super crispy because they've been sitting in the sauce or they're being slathered in sauce. So I can't say that I remember the French fries being like super memorable, but overall together, it's just like a potato at its essence with gravy and cheese. Where can you go wrong with that? Wait, let me see. So yeah, I took a lot of video footage that I am saving for the one day vlog that'll go up, and then I have a couple photos here, so I can briefly talk about the things that I did. But some observations of the Pacific Northwest, if you ever visit in the future, if you ever have a chance to go yourself. Down here in Float Harbor, I would say the beaches are very sandy. Like, we have a lot of sandy beaches, and those still do exist around the PNW, but there's a lot more beaches that are just like not as much sand and more rocks, like rocky beaches, which I don't see very often here in Float Harbor, or at all. Also, another key difference, I think in Float Harbor, a lot of our seashells, they're harder to come by. They're usually a lot smaller, or they're like broken up into a lot of pieces. They're kind of crushed. But up in the Pacific Northwest, as you go along the coast, the seashells tend to be bigger. Hold on, I'm getting a message. So let's see. Well, okay. So speaking of those rocky beaches, there we go. As you can see, there's a lot of, yeah, just a lot of rocks. And that's me! My vacation outfit. It's the one that I drew myself in the thumbnail for this stream. Hiding behind my huge sun hat. And I've got my Uchu Summer button-up on. The bag that I'm holding, it's just like a plastic grocery bag. I was using that to save my seashells, whatever I was finding along the beach. And yeah, sparkling sea. So yeah, rather than... I mean, I kind of touched grass, I guess. But I more touched the ocean. I had the sea. The fresh scent of the sea, of the ocean. And then, let me see here. Next photo. Yeah, there's my Tim Hortons. My box of Tim Hortons. I realized while putting this together, I didn't take actual photos of the donuts that I got. I just took a photo of the box. Yeah, who cares about what's inside? It's just like, the box is the most important part. That's how you know that I win. Actually, it was pretty funny because, you know, that outfit that I was in that other photo, I was wearing that same thing when I went to Tim Hortons. And I was taking photos of all the stuff to show to Twy because I was like, Twy, I'm in Canada. Oh my god, Twy, I'm in Canada. Look at what I'm getting. I'm at Tim Hortons. And this like group of kids were there too. There was like 2 teenage girls and then like a younger kid, a boy. And then as I was taking the photos, he like came up to me and I looked super touristy, I think, with my outfit. And he's like, are you from here? Like, do you live local to here? And I was like, no, I'm not. And then he turns to the 2 girls and he's like, see, I told you. And they were like, you know, kind of aghast, I guess, because I think from what I understood of the overall situation, I think he was making fun of them for living in Canada but still taking photos of their Tim Hortons. Like, why are you, like, there's Tim Hortons everywhere. If you live in Canada, why are you taking photos of your Tim Hortons? Whereas, like, for me, I'm not from Canada, so I get a pass to take photos of my Tim Hortons. And I obviously look like a tourist, so I'm sure he was like, what the... Yeah, people take photos of their Starbucks. It's not that weird, I don't think. But I guess they were just... Yeah, they were trying to defend themselves for taking photos of their Tim Horton goods. Speaking of which, the donuts. I think this box had some... I think they're called Timbits? They're like these donut holes, but they're called Timbits. So we had some chocolate ones. I had some apple fritter, and then I think just a chocolate glazed donut. Pretty good, pretty yummy. Oh, and then also something really cool. I wish Starbucks had this, or like they should start doing this. Get on this, Starbucks. I mean, I think you have a large, especially America right now, big push for protein, extra protein. People trying to get their protein in these days. But anyways, Tim Hortons, new thing that they started doing, an offering. I should have put this photo in the mix. I took a photo of the menu that I saw at Tim Hortons. And basically, they make coffee, you know, just their normal Tim Hortons coffee, but they can add this lactose-free protein milk into the coffee. It was like, holy cow, that's amazing. I think it was like 20 grams of protein. And oh my god, the killer part, it was like 3 to 4 Canadian dollars, and so converted to USD, it was like $3. It was so cheap. I was like, oh my god, if I had this option, I would just get Tim Hortons coffee, protein coffee every day. You know, it's so cheap. Or I should find out, like, where can I find lactose-free protein milk. Because I feel like specifically at the supermarket, I've only ever seen lactose-free milk and then protein milk. I don't see like both of them. But I would just, oh my god, that would be amazing. Yeah, it was yummy. I mean, I'm not like when it comes to coffee, I used to do where, like, you know, as a kid, you want it sweet because you're not used to like the bitter taste of coffee. But over the years, as I've just needed caffeine, I've grown accustomed to like just black coffee, essentially, maybe with a little milk of some kind. And when I feel like treating myself, maybe like adding some honey to black coffee is pretty good. But anyways, yeah, I just like plain black coffee. And so plain black coffee with the protein milk, nice, delicious, yummy. It was amazing. So I really hope I can find a lactose-free protein milk soon, somewhere. They're missing out on my hard-earned cash I'd be willing to spend on this extra milk. Anyways, next photo. So this is some I don't even remember what I was doing. Maybe taking a walk somewhere. And something that I find interesting about the Pacific Northwest is that blackberries grow everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean like literally everywhere. You can kind of see it, but these blackberries are growing up a tree. Blackberries do not belong in trees. It's the plant is climbing up the tree. And I remember as a kid, as a young otter, growing up in my old home, the house in front of us used to have a blackberry bush that would just grow through the fence. And so every summer we would just like harvest their blackberries because what are they gonna do? It's on our side of the yard. So it was interesting to see them like kind of just everywhere, like all over the place. I didn't think they were that's prominence of a plant. But yeah, it made me think of like, I don't know, if I was gonna make like a drawing or a postcard illustration of some kind of like about the Pacific Northwest, I'm surprised there hasn't been a beach called like Blackberry Beach. I think that's cute. Let's see, what's this next photo? Oh, deer. Yeah, so with this trip, again, when I say I traveled up and down the Pacific Northwest, I mean that quite literally, because as you know, I was in Canada for just a little bit, and then going south. So this photo was actually taken in Oregon. I think it was one of Oregon's state parks. And this is a deer. It's a wild deer. Yes, it is very close. I'm surprised. I think these deer were quite fearless. I think also because most people just let them do their own thing. They probably don't see people as a threat. So in this instance, the deer was kind of walking around and eating. This particular spot in the park had a lot of apple trees and pear trees. So the deer were coming to eat the apples that were just kind of all over the floor. And so it started with this one single deer. I don't have photos of it, but I have the video. So first it was one deer, and then I guess once the one deer deemed that it was safe, the whole family came out. There was like 2 baby deers, another mother deer. I don't remember if there was a father. I didn't see one with antlers. But yeah, all these deer came out to just munch on the fruit. This state park was also gigantic, by the way. Specifically, it's called this, I believe it's Silverton. So Silverton, or the town is called Silverton. I don't know what the park is called. Maybe, is it Silver Falls? It might be Silver Falls. Because this park has 9 waterfalls that you can visit. If you hike along the path or the trail that they have, you can see all 9 waterfalls. but unfortunately, because of the reason of me being there, I could not hike the entire trail. That'd be too much. I didn't have the proper attire. So I only got to see one waterfall, which I think, you know, one waterfall is probably good enough. So here's, I think I have, oh, well, here's some more trees from the park. As you can see, very beautiful, very lush. Surprisingly humid. It was pretty hot. I worked up quite a sweat walking around this park. Yeah, and there's the waterfall. This was the first waterfall of that trail, and the only one that I saw during my trip. Yeah, and I feel like photos don't really do it justice, like in terms of scale. I don't have a pointer that I can really show here, but so you can kind of see there's like, so the waterfall, right? And then to the right of the waterfall, there is like this little, looks like a little cave or a cavern area. So that is actually like a whole trail that's been carved out that you can walk under. Welcome back to Kitty. I just started talking about my trip. I hope the kittens are okay. But yeah, this is one of the waterfalls of many from this state park in Oregon that I visited. I put in several photos of different angles from this waterfall to try to kind of give you a better idea of scale, but it is kind of difficult. But it was beautiful. So here's the underside of the waterfall. Kind of a little difficult to see because of the sky and how bright it is. But yeah, it was very magical. Very enchanting. And again, these photos don't really do it justice. Like, in terms of how big things are. Like, you just look at it and you're like, yeah, those are pine trees, but you have to understand that these pine trees were a gigantic pine trees. Yeah, and then here's, so that first photo where I mentioned like the underside of the little cavern area from the trail, you can kind of see it. There's like a path, or you can see how small like the fencing is in like sort of the lower middle-ish part of the photo. Yeah, and then again, maybe you can kind of see like how big the trees are. But yeah, you can follow the trail all the way around, get a bunch of different views of the waterfall, get under it. It's very cool. I feel like the last time I saw a view that was kind of similar to this was probably the last time I went camping with Papa Pascal, which was like forever ago. Yeah, here's another view. So from this angle, you can also kind of see the pool that's at the bottom of the waterfall. Also very pretty. I think I mean, in this photo it's kind of hard to see, but there are people on the trail. There might be another photo somewhere that has like people in the background. It's really small. But again, I was just like, just so pretty, taking pictures of every angle. Because I really wanted to capture the beauty. Oh, I'm blocking the waterfall. Here's another side view of it. Yeah, well, nope, that'd be getting in the way. And then some trees. Again, these trees are huge. So I am about 5'2". So this is from an angle of me looking up. So again, look at all the green forest. So pretty. I think that's something I always marvel at whenever I visit. Because this is, I don't know how many times I visited the PNW now at this point, but it's always so green. I envy that. Yeah, and so something else that I really enjoyed from my short time in Oregon, I went to this aquarium As you can see, it's called Seaside. It's literally called Seaside Aquarium because the town itself is called Seaside. So Seaside, Oregon. So Seaside, the Seaside Aquarium is one of the oldest privately owned aquariums on the West Coast, and it's very small. Admission was literally like $11, like, so really cheap. But the cool thing about this aquarium, you know, other than its like history, is that they also have seals. You can see the seals that are at the Seaside Aquarium. Most of them have been born and bred at the aquarium. I think their earlier descendants must have been rescued at some point, and then maybe they just were not deemed, you know, to be able to be released into the wild. And again, I have more footage and like photos of that, but not too many to show here, unfortunately. But the seals were so cute. Again, the admission was really cheap, only $11. And then to feed them, like fish, it was like $2 a tray for a little thing of fish. And they were so happy. They would like, they do the internet meme where they slap their belly. They slap their belly. And then they splash everybody with water. Like they splash the water to try to get your attention so that way they'll get fed. And according to the FAQ that was on the Seaside Aquarium, like, billboard, I guess you could say. Ooh, excuse me. Some of the signs that they had around. So the staff had never taught the seals to do this, but they just kind of picked up and recognized that, like, if they do something, people are more likely to, like, send the food their way. And they've also, on their website, if you look it up, Seaside Aquarium, Oregon, they have like profiles of all their seals there, which I think is super cute. And I said each seal has like a different personality. It's just like me. You're just like me for real. Yeah, another cool thing about this aquarium is that the building that it's in, it used to be a saltwater bathhouse, like back when it was first established, I guess in the like 1930s something. Again, very long time ago, so it's old. But I have never heard of a saltwater bathhouse before. And so I think I have a photo in here from one of the placards. Yeah, this one. So it says, okay, so it used to be a saltwater bathhouse in the 1920s, and then it became an aquarium sometime in the 1930s. So in the 1920s, the building that currently houses the Seaside Aquarium was a natatorium, a warmed saltwater swimming pool. Here, the lifeguards of the old natatorium pose alongside a fountain. The original, though modified structure of this fountain can still be seen inside of the aquarium in the tank deemed the hex tank, due to its unique hex-like shape. Water flowed out of the fountain through the top of this center pillar, where it would then cascade down the side, replenishing the pool with fresh seawater. Excuse me. Yeah, so it was weird to be like walking around in the aquarium and being like, this was probably filled with water. And now it's just like I'm walking around and looking at all the cute little critters in the tanks. Yeah, and here's from that same town, so Seaside. Again, it's just by the coast. So this is me watching the sunset at Seaside, Oregon. Very pretty. And again, one of the things I found interesting is that in comparison to Float Harbor, the seashells are more intact, generally. Oregon and the more north that you go up, you guys also get sand dollars, which we don't get here in Float Harbor. Actually, I think I have some photos in here of like some of the things I found while walking along the coast. So here's like a washed up jellyfish. Not sure what kind of breed this is, but I'm pretty sure that is a jellyfish nonetheless, of some kind. I did not touch it, just to be safe. But there were several of them that I found. This, I think, being one of the more, like, preserved ones. And then speaking of sand dollars, so if you don't know what a sand dollar is, they're like these, I guess they technically could be classified as like a seashell or like a type of seashell. They're not actually shells. They are actually like the exoskeleton of a type of, I believe, a sea urchin. But when they're alive, they're like, you know, if you look up a typical sand dollar, they come up as white because that's usually like they're dried out. But a live sea dollar, they look like this. They are like fuzzy. It's very weird. So this one, yeah, I just came across while walking along the beach. And again, it's just got like all these little hairs. Maybe it's not very clear on the photo, but they are fuzzy. And then you can also kind of see like the pattern, which is typically found on a sand dollar, like that flower pattern. But very weird. And then this is what the underside looks like. Again, it's just fuzz. But since it was still alive, you know, obviously I did not take it home. It is it is not wise to take home live sand dollars because it is technically still like considered a fish, I guess, at this point. So it would just make your belongings smell stinky if you try to take it home. The ones that you can take home though are like obviously the dried out skeleton ones. Which unfortunately during my trip I couldn't find any like whole sand dollars. All the ones that I found were like in pieces. I have them still in like the bag that I collected them in, but I need to wash them off and like dry them so that way I can actually put them in some kind of display. Yeah, and then I got to make a short stop in Oregon. Or, I mean, yes, obviously I was in Oregon. I meant Portland, Oregon. I'm sure some of you know Portland from this show called Portlandia that takes place in Portland, Oregon. I'm not sure. I'm sure there are some other like pop cultural things regarding Oregon. But yeah, I didn't have too much time to spend in Portland, unfortunately, but one of the stops I did make was at this park. It's a huge park in Portland. I think it's called the Washington Park. And within the park there's like, I think the Oregon Zoo is in the park, and then there's like multiple gardens. This photo coming from one of them. So this is actually one of the free parks that you can visit in Portland. It's called the International Rose Test Garden. And as you can maybe guess from the name, it is called such a thing because there are lots of roses here, but not just any type of roses. So all of these roses are specifically bred to make like different varieties of roses. So there's like hundreds of different types of roses in this garden, and they're all labeled. They all have like names, and they also have like QR codes so you can look them up if you like a certain variety or breed that you find. And you know, I never thought about it too much because I always thought like, oh, the purpose of breeding roses, I guess, is just to kind of like to make visually like different colors or something. But actually there are a lot of different types of roses, which I would come across a flower that I would not traditionally think is a rose. Like, it doesn't look like a rose, but it is considered a rose. But yeah, I guess it would make sense that like you would breed certain types of flowers together to get certain characteristics or aspects out of them that you want. Kind of like when people breed dogs, right? People breed dogs because they like a certain like characteristic from that dog breed that they want in their dog. So with these roses, so sometimes, you know, people breed them. I say people very lightly because I don't know who exactly is like kind of in charge of the gardens. I assume it's like a community of some sort. But yeah, they can be bred for like if you want a rose that smells very strong, you could breed two different types of roses together, or maybe there's like a particular rose scent that you want, or a particular color or pattern, or there were some roses that were bred for like how big the blooms can get. So some blooms can have up to like 50 petals versus like, I don't know, whatever the standard typical rose is. So they just look very big and fluffy. It was very cool, very interesting. And again, it is completely free to visit if you happen to be in the area. Again, Portland, Oregon, International Rose Test Garden. It's very cool. Very, very cool. And then in that same park, there was also a Japanese garden, which, unlike the Rose Test Garden, you do need to pay admission to be able to go in, which I did end up doing. And it was also very beautiful. I don't have too many photos of it again because I am saving a lot of that for future vlog footage. But it was advertised as being the biggest or the best Japanese garden outside of Japan. And so I was like, whoa, that's a big claim. You can't just say that. So I had to go find out for myself. Is it actually the best Japanese garden outside of Japan? I will say it was very pretty, very cool. And they had a gift shop and everything. Very neat. So let me see. So I think I only have a photo of the entrance here for you. And then maybe like 1 or 2 photos of the inside. But I would highly recommend you go visit. I think one of the other cool things about this garden too is that they also hold a lot of like cultural events here. So we had just well, yeah, there are several events that goes on throughout the year, and so we had just missed one. But it would be cool to go back in the future. Maybe one day. But yeah, this whole thing, it's just like a huge entrance, and then you have to walk up a trail and up some stairs to get to like the main courtyard. And again, very, very serene, very pretty, and well taken care of. So again, not like the most descriptive photo of this place, but they did have a maple tree, which was already starting to turn red. I mean, they had several maple trees in that garden, but I was thinking like, man, you can imagine like these trees gonna start turning red soon. And now it's like, yeah, this tree in particular was already starting to turn red. You can imagine like visiting when they were all red. I'm sure it's very pretty. I don't think I saw any, what is that plant called? Oh, ginkgo. I was hoping to see like a ginkgo tree, because I like the shape of their leaves, and then when they turn yellow in the fall. But I don't think this garden had a ginkgo tree, or at least I didn't come across one. There's just a lot of maple and a lot of different other plant varieties. But usually when I think of like Japanese fauna, I think of like maple leaves and ginkgo trees. And then I think this next photo, yeah, the trees are super tall. Yeah, let me go back. They're very big. They were huge. And again, you can kind of imagine the scale like a tiny bit if this is like the entrance and this is like a signboard. Pretty large signboard. And they have big old trees. And here's one photo of their rock garden. I think they had 2 of them, but this was the one I got closest to. You'd feel insignificant. What I liked about the garden was, like, again, they had the so they had different sections of the garden. So there was like this rock garden, there was another rock garden that I didn't get to like walk up to too close, and then they had a koi pond, they had a tea house, they had a cafe, they had a gift shop, they had I think they called it like their excuse me, I think they called it like their cultural center, where they hold like their event stuff, or like sometimes I think they had an exhibit going on, so you could go in and see like whatever things they had on display, which was pretty cool. And again, a big courtyard, so very neat. It seemed like they I didn't get a photo of it, but I saw they had like a cardboard cutout of like just like some kind of like photo op station. And I recall seeing like a poster somewhere in the gift shop that was like, oh, the artist who made the photo op that you see outside is like a local Oregon artist. And I was like, that's neat. I'm glad they are like trying to include like the people who are local to the area within like the community, like fostering community that way. I think is really neat. Yeah, you'd expect you can go for sure, right? They did have, do you know what a wisteria flower is? It's like the purple hanging flower. They did have like, what do you call it? Like an overhanging, like not an awning. It's not called an awning, but like, you know, some kind of structure that hangs overhead. And then they did have wisteria flowers, like, they weren't in full bloom, but I could tell that they were wisteria plants. I'm sure in the spring it's probably like amazing, just like all purple. I'd love to see that. Oh, they also had what are they called? The little trees, the bonsai. They had a little bonsai garden too, which is also neat. I think bonsai plants are very unique and interesting, because I didn't realize you could make like bonsais out of almost anything with the right care. Like I've seen miniature like apple trees and stuff, or like a bonsai sized apple tree that produces like a single apple. They didn't have that here. I'm just talking about in general. I think they had the one bonsai tree that I remember, besides just like the normal tree, was like, have you guys ever seen a pitcher plant? They're like those big flowers that like they collect water on the inside from the rain or whatever else. Yeah, they had a bonsai version of that, which I was like, whoa. Yeah, bonsais are cool. If I had more time and energy and money, I would invest in getting a bonsai of some kind. Hi Gex, welcome. I'm actually just at the end of my photo reels here from my trip. This is a rock garden from one of the Japanese gardens I visited, or the only Japanese garden I visited during my trip. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, that's all the photos I gathered. I mean, again, did a lot of traveling during my trip, so going between up and down the coast was kind of wild, but it was a fun time. I don't get to do that often, so it's always a treat when I do. I love getting to see like new places and trying out the local things, or seeing it's weird, like, I don't know if you guys ever thought about this, but you know, it's like you go about your day-to-day life, just kind of doing whatever is normal to you. Do you ever stop and think like, whoa, someone could be a tourist in my town and they don't live here, and not everything that I'm used to that's kind of lost its sauce, you know? That's probably like someone is making a core memory out of this. I think that's why I enjoy when I get friends or visitors from other places visiting Float Harbor. I like taking them around and showing them like the things that people normally like to go see when they visit. Because then it's like, whoa, you get to view it through the lens of someone who's not used to these things. Like, they don't have access to this all the time. And suddenly it makes it a little more unique or special. But yeah, it's and so I did think about that like during my trip, like, man, all these people are just going about their day. They're going to work, they're, I don't know, hanging out with their friends at the park, and I'm just here being like, I don't live here. I'm gonna take all these pictures and photos of things that you probably see like almost every day or on a regular basis. But yeah, I think maybe that is the secret to, I don't know, viewing your day-to-day life in a more romantic lens, I suppose. You just gotta view it from the eye of someone who's not from around here. Yeah, I'll put this away. And yeah, so that was my trip. Oh, I did have some trouble getting back home, but it ended up working out okay. So I made it back home on time and going back into work the next day. I have never, in all my time of like traveling to places, I think this was the first time I've ever run. Oh no, just kidding. I've had at least one other like incident with a plane in the past. Not like a death experience, just like unfortunate timing or things happening with the flight that weren't anticipated. So it seems very rare that it happens, but thankfully the airline that I was flying with managed to reimburse me something to make up for the trouble. Because otherwise I would have been kind of like, well, this sucks. In the past, it was when I was trying to go to Japan like a long time ago. The first time I ever visited Japan with Mama Pascal and PJ, we were taking 2 flights. We had to fly from Float Harbor to Canada and then from Canada to Japan. And I think we had, from Canada to Japan, that would be like our connecting flight. Something happened where I think the flight might have been canceled or like delayed or something, but we ended up having to spend a night at the airport in Canada. And I think Mama Pascal's kind of scary. She when, you know, because we had all this planned out, she went to like Karen mode, I guess, and really pressed the airline people to like help us out. So I remember we spent a night at like the airport that we stayed at had a connecting hotel, so we got to spend a night there instead of like being stuck in the airport, thankfully. And then, you know, the following day we ended up flying out from Japan, or to Japan, as intended. But it did, that little mishap did end up cutting our trip short because it was already going to be like a short trip, and it just ended up being like way shorter. I lost like a whole day of my trip. But oh well. She always told me that trip to Japan was meant to be like a little taste test of what it's like, and that I should go back without her. Not as in like, you know, she's dead or anything, just I should just go back on my own. And I still have yet to fulfill that on my bucket list, so one of these days. I feel like there's so many, you know, not that it ever gets old, but there's already so much like vlog content. Not that it has to be for content, but there's already so much like because everybody wants to record their experience and things that they do in Japan. But yeah, if I ever get the chance in the future to go back, I would love to take a lot of photos and videos and stuff for you guys to share. Yeah, and then as you know, I ended up getting sick at the tail end of my trip, and so yeah, was not a fun time. But I'm doing better now. I think, yeah, I'm like 99% better. I still have to clear my throat every once in a while, but it's definitely not as bad. I'm not going into coughing fits. Also, maybe I can show you guys some stuff I've done lately. Well, for one, as of like recent, before I went on my vacation, if you missed it, I had a karaoke stream for my birthday, like an early birthday karaoke stream. And I made this microphone that you see in my hands. I wanted it to be kind of like designed to look like my motifs themed after me. I didn't rig it in Live 2D, unfortunately. I just didn't have the time. It was a very last minute thing I wanted to do for the stream. But now I have it, so I just want to show this off. And then I have some art that I haven't posted on social media yet. But if you know, it was Big Ham's birthday and also Ramathal's birthday. Those are two friends of mine. And so I had made them some art for their birthdays. Just very quick, I didn't have a lot of time. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I don't know if I'll post it. I mean, I'm sure I will at some point. Let's do another image. Yeah. Browse. Doot. So this was the one that I drew for Ram. Wait, where is it? Oh, I put it in my folder. Hold on. Doot. Where's the folder? Where did it go? My desktop is literally a mess. You'll never get to see my desktop. It's just like covered in files and folders. Oh my god, where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh my god, I found it. This is the drawing I did for Ram. Ramathal. Yeah, funny story about Ram was that a year ago, exactly a year ago, or I guess a year and a day. So like long time ago, back when I first decided I wanted to stream as a VTuber, I had my account made, but I wasn't streaming yet, but I was like kind of interacting and talking to people here and there. And Ram was also around at the same time, I believe. And I think Ramathal had rebranded at some point in my time of following them, and then eventually came back to just being the Ram that we know today. But a year ago, you know, they said, oh, today's my birthday. And back then, like, I hadn't seen them on my timeline in so long. I don't know if you guys have Twitter, but sometimes Twitter doesn't really show you everybody that you're following. So this was like the first time in a long time I had seen a post from Ramathal, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I remember this person. I should wish them happy birthday. And so I did. And somehow Ram at the time, so I was following Ram first. They were not following me, but because I wished them a happy birthday, they followed me back and then sent me a DM on Twitter, just like trying to start a conversation. And he later told me like, oh, I also remember you from way back when, but I just never caught up with you. And then when you messaged me happy birthday, I recognized you, so I wanted to follow you back and like just like hit you up and say hey. And so that's kind of how we started talking, but funny how that all worked out. And so when I wished Ram a happy birthday this year, I was like, oh, happy birthday, and then also happy 1 year since we started talking as friends. Yeah. And I drew myself as like a little, I forgot what Ram calls them. They're like his little mascots, or like his fan mascot characters. They're like these little forest spirits and they can have like different plants and like proportions and stuff. I made myself a little like palm tree. A little palm tree spirit. And then let me show the one I did for Big Ham. Whoa, this was huge. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's big. Why is it so big? Yeah, he's got these cute little like forest spirit mascots. When I was drawing that birthday thing for him, I did have to like scrounge through his Twitter to find reference. So you will have to dig. But yeah, this is my art for Big Ham. A traditional piece. And then my bed sheets just happened to be like a Big Ham color. So I was like, oh, this would be perfect background. And then only after like I sent it to her did I realize, oh man, I drew Big Ham's thumb. It's on the wrong side of the hand. It should be on the other side. No. But I can't undo it. It's traditional. It's done. But yeah, Big Ham was happy. So I'm glad they liked it. I have so many friends, characters who I want to draw. Yes, thank you, Noni. I'm very pleased with it too. Okay, hide it. Yeah, everybody's got so many characters and things. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of this. Yes. There we go. Okay, well now that I'm not showing any photos, maybe I should scooch myself over a little bit so I'm more in the middle. Where's my thing? There it is. Boop, 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 boop. There, now I'm front and center. But yes, there is something else important that I'd like to discuss and go over with you guys. It is pertaining to my streams, so listen up, okay? So as you know, typically I've been streaming every local time to me, local date and time for me, at Thursday 7 p.m. PST. However, I lightly discussed this at the end of my stream last week, but in case you weren't there, here is the TLDR. I have to change my streaming day. The time is going to be the same. I would rather not change the time as much as I can, but the day has to change, unfortunately, because of changes to my real-life work schedule. Yeah, they kind of just need me to help out a little bit more during what would normally be my streaming time and day. So I was kind of put in a pickle of like, well, I could either keep the day the same and change the time, but that would mean that my streams would have to be like much shorter, or the time can stay the same, I just have to change the day. So I thought changing the day was probably better. So the new day, for those of you listening, new stream day is gonna be, for me locally, that'd be Tuesdays at 7 p.m. PST. So same time again, 7 p.m. PST, but we're going from Thursday to Tuesday. So next week will be the first Tuesday stream moving forward. This is the last Thursday stream for who knows how long, until, like, I don't know, I get fired from my job for some reason. I hope that's not the case. But yeah, I still don't know if I can do more streaming just yet, as much as I'd like to. So if we're keeping with this once a day schedule for now, streams are going to be shifting over to Tuesdays. So unfortunately that means for me, it's extra work because I gotta change all my social media stuff to say that the days are Tuesdays now instead of Thursday. And that is also kind of why, aside from going on vacation and being sick and stuff, I've just been busy. I haven't been able to make like a proper schedule for the month just because everything has been changing. Just like the seasons, So, I'll just tell you right now. So next week, when we do our first Tuesday stream, it's probably just going to be like some kind of game stream. Not sure what just yet. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can do some Peak. I've been playing Peak a lot off stream with friends. That's been really fun. So if you guys, if we're friends and you have Peak and you just want to chat and like catch up and do like, play, just do some climbing, I am totally down. So please feel free to hit me up and see if I'm busy. But yeah, so maybe some Peak. That'd be nice. And we could drag some friends into that. Maybe. We'll see. And then the Tuesday after that, which I think is, let me see. So next stream is going to be Tuesday the 16th. And then there's going to be a Tuesday after that, the 23rd. So I have something planned for the 23rd. I lightly mentioned it, or may have mentioned it, several streams before my vacation. But if you guys remember, I played the demo for this indie game called Gemporium, where you run like a little like gem shop. You go into the mines and you dig up gems, and then you polish the gems and you sell them off to people, to these like little animal customers. So the studio for that game, they gave me a Steam key for free for the full game, and I was like, wait, I wasn't expecting this. Thank you, this is really sweet of you, but I would prefer to support the studio in any way that I can. So if you guys don't know, when you get Steam keys from, I guess, anyone, not just the developers, if you get a Steam key and then you try to leave a review for the game that you got the key for, they don't count, I guess, towards like the total like overall review scale for that game. So for a lot of these indie studios, when they give out free keys and stuff to people to like play their game, to help kind of advertise the game or show off the game, if those people try to leave reviews, it's not going to count towards their overall like review algorithm score, and then they don't get pushed as much on Steam. So I learned this from doing if you guys remember, my first giveaway that I did with the Steam key, this was recommended by that developer for Kabuto Park. They were like, well, if you really want to support us, the best way to do that is, you do whatever you want with the Steam key, but the best way to support is, you wishlist the game, you actually purchase the game, and then you leave a review, and that will count as like the most, I guess, beneficial way to help support the studio, in case you guys are wondering. And so I brought that up to the Gemporium devs, since they handed me this free Steam key that I wasn't expecting, and I was like, would you guys be okay with me doing a giveaway with the Steam key? I'd rather purchase the game, because also generally when they launch, they'll do like a launch sale too, so you can buy the game at it like a cheaper price rather than the full price, which is great. And then if you leave a review, that helps out a lot. And they were like, yeah, that's totally cool. And so I have a waiting room, not public yet, but it's set up for the Gemporium stream. And I did tell them, the developers, that I was gonna email them and message them like when I have it kind of all set up and scheduled, so that way they can maybe pop in and join or like visit if they have the time. But yeah, it'll be kind of the same as what I did for the Kabuto Park giveaway, where you guys will be leaving a comment and a like somewhere. I made it so that way subscriptions are more of an optional thing. You only subscribe to me if you want to subscribe to me, okay? Because it made me really sad when I did the giveaway, and one of the rules was like, oh, subscribe to Calico Pascal. And then, you know, I got several subscribers, and then after the giveaway ended, they all just left. So I kind of was just like back where I started, and I was like, oh, okay. I see. It's okay, I understand. But also, weh. You don't like me? You only want me for my free Steam key. I see how it is. Just kidding, just kidding. So this time around, subscribing is optional, but it is nice and appreciated if you decide to subscribe to me. The only real thing that is considered like an entry is if you like and comment wherever it is that I will be deciding it should go. And then yeah, we'll do the stream. I'll play the game, and then at the very end of the stream, we'll roll the wheel of names of people who have entered to determine who is the winner. And hopefully they are also watching the stream when they win the game, just so that way, or like, you know, I already have an easy way to contact them. For the Kabuto Park key, it just happened to be a friend of mine who won the key fair and square. So I gave that to them, and they were very happy. But yeah, I would like to provide everyone a chance to win this game. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun with the demo, so I think the full game will be a nice chill time. And I would like to provide that opportunity to someone else who also enjoys cozy indie games. And yeah. But yeah, the big announcement was more so that, yeah, stream days are changing from Thursday to Tuesday. And then again, I will make several posts about that to remind everybody in the next coming days. I'm gonna have to remember. Otherwise, I'm gonna stream on Tuesday and no one will show up, and I'll be like, no. I think the hardest part about it is just, like, I've gotten so used to streaming at this day and time for 3 years now at this point. So I'm just like, man, I really don't want to change it. But, you know, maybe the change is good. Change is always good. A little change is good. It's kind of the same way where at my work I was like, when they gave me this new schedule, and I was like, oh no, that's gonna run into my stream days. No, I don't want to, no. But actually I do enjoy my new schedule at work. So it all works out. It's a refreshing change of pace. It allows me some more time in my day, I suppose, rather than what I was previously doing. I felt like before I would literally just wake up, go to work, and then come home, and then like waste away the night, and then go to sleep, and just not be very productive. It was like good when I needed to focus more on like commission work, artwork, because I feel like I'm more productive when it comes to artwork, like at night. Ooh, excuse me. Versus like in the day. But unfortunately, the rest of society runs on daylight schedule, so now it's a little. I'm more of like a diurnal. That's the correct term, right? Diurnal, with meaning day and night. I'm a normal human now, normal sea otter. No more night owl status, or I try to. Lately, this past week or so, because I've had so much on my plate, I've been staying up later and later, which is not good. And then I end up sleeping in because of it, and then I'm not, again, I don't do the things I'm supposed to do during the day. Whoopsies. Oh, I also watched, during my trip, I saw the Fantastic Four movie. I'm not very, you know, I would say I don't usually keep up pretty often with like the new movies and films that come out. And I guess it has been technically a while since the Fantastic Four movie came out, but I watched it in theaters and it was pretty good. It was cute. It was entertaining. I think the funny thing is, like, you know, I kind of had a vague general understanding of like Fantastic Four lore, and then I started playing Marvel Rivals, and now I'm like, you know, more keenly aware of these characters and what, like, how they act or like what they're about. And so then watching the Fantastic Four movie, I was like, wow, it's just like Marvel Rivals. I think Pedro Pascal did a good job as Reed Richards. Like, not only did he kind of sound, I mean, again, this is just, I know the characterization of the characters in Marvel Rivals is like, you know, there's some key elements to each character, right? But there's like different variations of said character, kind of like how there's a bunch of different Spider-Men, and depending on who they're played by, it's like, oh, this Spider-Man is more like this, but his key characteristics stay the same across the board, but there's like just little differences. So I felt like Pedro Pascal, like his version of Reed Richards, was pretty on par or like similar to the Reed Richards in Marvel Rivals. So for me, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, but it was fun, cute little movie. I also rewatched, speaking of Marvel, I rewatched the original Iron Man movie, the first one, because it's been years since I last watched it, and that was also fun to revisit. It still looks great. I want to see the new Superman movie that came out. I heard that was also really good, but I just haven't had the chance to. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Amazing Iron Man. You love Superman? Okay, I will press it higher on the list of movies I need to see. Yeah, a lot of my friends who have seen it so far said it was really good. I have a friend in particular that I'm thinking of who watched both Fantastic Four and Superman, and they said they liked Superman a lot more than Fantastic Four. Which, again, I'm not... it's weird, because I feel like sometimes I flip-flop. Sometimes I'm really critical, and then sometimes I'm not with certain movies. And I thought, you know, Fantastic Four was like... It was an entertaining movie, it did its job. But Superman, I heard, was just, like, really good. If you've seen the originals, there's a few little nods to it in the movie. I love spotting them. Superman is so bright and fun. I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet, though. That's good. Yeah, Fantastic Four, I don't know if it's like this in the other Fantastic Four movies, but for this one, it was like very, what do you call it, retro-futuristic, like, aesthetic, which I think is very cool. Like, it's like, oh, it's set in like a future-ish city or timeline, but all the aesthetics of that period are very, like, is it 70s? Yeah. So again, they just have, like, they have technology and, like, modern things, but it's all just, like, the aesthetic and the design of it is very retro, which is cool. Yeah, the only thing I know about the Superman movie, you know, aside from the fact my friend said it was good, is the squirrel. Something about Superman saving a squirrel. That's all I know right now. And then, yeah, I guess just like, of course, you can't have a Superman movie without Lois Lane. And that's all I know. So, I'm excited to look into it. Oh yeah, I'm silly. I forgot, like, you know, I showed off the the art I did of Ram and Ham, but like again, super recent would be the little doodle I just did for the thumbnail for today's stream. I had intended to be productive last night, and then I got carried away. I mean, it was a quick doodle still, but I should have been working on other things. I have things I need to be doing. Where is it? This one. I'll just put it up here. Yippee! I should have also made it like an actual PNG instead of just a white background. I figured I could do it later when I was less lazy. Oh, wait. There you go. Yeah, that was the outfit that you saw from my photo. My Uchu summer button up, some shorts, some flip-flops, my backpack, the plastic bag with my shells in it. Yeah. And my big ol' sun hat. Yeah, I love doing like these little chibi doodles every now and then. They're just simple and fun. I didn't intend on coloring it at first, but I was like, you know, the outfit is so colorful. It'd be a shame to not include the colors. So I just went and did it. But yeah, I mean, that's most of the things that I've had going on. Oh, I at the Seaside Aquarium. I'm gonna jump topics because there's several things I want to mention. So at the Seaside Aquarium, they had a little gift shop, and because you know they have the seals there that you feed, I was like, okay, I want something that will, like, I will remember this by. So they had a bin that was like on the floor of like a bunch of leftover like items that they were trying to get rid of that were 50% off, and in the bin there were like these 2 crocheted seals, and they like, I kid you not, everything in that box was just like had a layer of dust on it, or the tags on them were just like kind of frayed and old, so they had been there a long time. And I was like, I need to take one of these crocheted seals home, they're so cute. So I bought one, but you know, again, because they were in the box for so long, I'm like, this fella, I need to give this guy a bath at some point. He's like all dusty. But he's very cute. And apparently they were, these particular like crochet seals, I guess they were made through an organization where like they crochet a bunch of like stuffed animals, and then the tag says like who made it, and then where the money goes towards to, like the organization. So that's pretty neat. And so now I have a little souvenir and a memory from the Seaside Aquarium. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, now I've already forgotten because I've jumped topics, so no. Thinking, what was I gonna say? I really can't remember for the life of me. Maybe it'll come back at some point. I'm trying so hard to remember. The train, they were all lined up, and then they just like, they disappeared. They went somewhere. But I guess if that's all I remember, or can remember, that I wanted to talk about, I'm happy to just end the stream here. I know it's kind of short, but, you know, I just wanted to catch up and talk with you guys a little bit. Hopefully you guys have also been good. I hope you guys have been staying healthy and not getting sick like me. But yeah, I definitely feel in better spirits, you know, now that I am not ill. So, well, I guess I could talk about, if you guys weren't there for a stream last week, the Hollow Knight stream. Yeah, I played Hollow Knight for the first time. I'm still going into it pretty blind. I haven't played it since stream, but I'd like to play it more. And I haven't been able to tune into anybody else's streams. Because there are people who are playing Hollow Knight to try to refresh their memory or catch up before playing the new Hollow Knight game. But I have no context for anything regarding Hollow Knight, so I have several people who have been streaming Hollow Knight, and I want to go in to say hi, but I can't watch because I don't want to be spoiled for the game. I assume, I mean, I know the game was very popular for some time. I mean, it still is very popular, so I don't want to be spoiled for what the game ensues. It reminds me of, like, you know, with Undertale. It's literally impossible to not get spoiled by Undertale if you didn't play it. Thankfully for me, I am like 10 years behind, so I missed it. I missed the initial, like, popularity phase of Hollow Knight. And now everybody's moved on to the new game, so I have no context for anything that the few bits of the new game that I've seen on my timeline. I just close my eyes and then I just ignore it. So hopefully more Hollow Knight Silksong will come along. But yeah. So again, next week stream on Tuesday, some kind of game stream, and then streams will be on Tuesdays moving forward from then on. And we got a giveaway planned at some point, so that'll also happen. And that's kind of it right now. So, sorry again, this stream is a little shorter than normal, but yeah, we'll work our way back into it. Maybe we can get a nice strong start on Tuesday when we come back together for a stream. So Tuesday, 7 p.m. PST. Well, that's 7 p.m. PST local for me. I don't know what that changes into for you. But yeah, I will have the waiting room set up and stuff, hopefully ready beforehand. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. I'm gonna figure out what I can eat. I'm gonna scrounge around my kitchen like a little animal. And I'll see you all next week. So, see you later. Please have a good night. Bye-bye.